The children of the night are making beautiful music, and the Soulblight Gravelords have come to your door. Will you let them in? I'm Clint with Bowles, and these are the 5 biggest changes to the Soulblight Gravelords. So one of the major big changes for Soulblight Gravelords is going to be the endless ranks of the undead. Very similar to, you guys might remember, the Gloomspite Gits, when if you had a Loon Shrine and you knocked out a massive unit of the Moonclan Goblins, they'd come back at half strength, or like the Tyranids. Now the undead can do it. You can have a summonable unit that is wiped out on a roll of a 4-up, come back at half strength, which is super cool. But the really cool thing about it is that includes summonable heroes, which can come back with 3 wounds allocated to them. Now there aren't a lot of summonable heroes in the book, but it's not a 0 number. So having a hero that has been completely killed come back with 3 wounds allocated to it is huge. You're going to be able to bring back some of your vampires, your zombies, your skeletons, and yeah, they're easy to kill, but you can regenerate them, and then even if your opponent completely wipes them off the board, they come back the next turn. Another big change that's coming is going to be a change to the Deathless Minions rule. Before, one of your summonable units had to be close to a hero or a gravesite in order to get that 6-up ward save. Now, the 6-up ward save is standard across every model in your army, regardless of where it is, which makes sense. The dead are really hard to kill when they've got a necromancer there, and the necromancers are going to protect them, so the undead are getting this 6-up ward save. Knock a zombie's head off, it might keep coming. The next big change is the way that your bloodlines are going to work. So every bloodline has a battle trait. That's something that your entire army is going to get while they're either close to your hero or just in general. The next thing they have is unique, heroic, or monstrous actions, again, depending on what you take. The Avangori, of course, have monster actions, as does the Legion of Night, because that's more focused on having critters, whereas the Legion of Blood, the Vyrkos, and Kastelai, they have things that are more focused on your heroes, because they want your heroes to be doing things. Legion of Blood can mess with your opponent's heroes, and things like that. In addition to that, your bloodlines are going to get 3 unique command traits and 3 unique artifacts of power. The command traits, and this is a fun thing, the command traits can be included on unique units. This is something that I believe is new to 3.0. And so if you take Belladama Volga, or you take Manfred von Karsten, units that always count as your general, even if they aren't picked to be your general, they can take a command trait, if the rule is to be believed. Feel free to blast me in the comments if somewhere in the rulebook that says that's not true, but as far as I've seen, everything in the rulebook leads to, if it says unique units can have it in the Battletome, it can have it. And speaking of bloodlines, my personal favorite, the one I've been playing the longest, is the Vyrkos, or the Werewolf faction. I love them, I've always kind of loved them. I like that they develop their sort of bestial nature, and they develop an animal totem, usually a wolf, but could be a bat, or a rat, or a mosquito. Bats specifically play into Ivia Volga. She's the new Vyrkos champion, and she is going to be a monster. We've got a video on Ivia Volga coming later, so make sure you like and subscribe for that. But back to Vyrkos. One of the things that I loved about them is Belladama was able to summon wolves. It's not just her thing anymore. That is a heroic action that any one of your heroes can do. They can summon a unit of 10 direwolves to the battlefield. Don't do this once, you can still do it. Their battle trait allows them to do the thing that Galatian champions can do, where it's like once they fought in battle, then another unit that's nearby that is Vyrkos can fight in battle. That is really powerful, especially if you have something like a White King and some Graveguard, or you've got Belladama and a massive unit of direwolves. You can really put the hurt on your opponent with that. Some of the items steal command points. It's just going to be really cool, and Vyrkos really feels like it's coming into its own here, and the other bloodlines aren't weak by any stretch of the imagination, but Vyrkos are my babies, so of course I had to talk about them. Another fan favorite for vampire players, Soulblight players, has been the Blood Knights. Blood Knights are amazing. There was a joke going around when they first came out of the gold-plated box of Blood Knights because everyone wanted them and they were almost impossible to get. They're even better now. Their rend has been increased to 2, they do extra damage on the charge, they still move over things that are weaker than them, and they are just absolute monsters. If you play them in Kastelai, which you should, they're going to empower themselves based on what they kill, just like they used to, but now that strength that they're getting is even stronger. They can add to their attacks, they can add to their movement, buff all of their vampiric powers, and now there's a grand strategy that says if the only heroes left on the battlefield are vampires. You get the grand strategy, which is incredible because if you're playing Kastelai, everything in your army is a vampire. And if you take one of the new Coven Thrones, you can turn your opponent's heroes into vampires on your side of the field. It's amazing. I definitely think that the Kastelai bloodline is going to see a lot more play than it used to. It might even outdo the Legion of Night or the Vyrkos. I'm super excited about the new Soulblight Gravelords Battletome. It is going to be incredible, and it's going to bring my favorite Undead faction back into the forefront with some incredible power. If you like this kind of content, check out another video of ours on Age of Sigmar right here, and if YouTube thinks you like something else, it's going to show up right here, so make sure you click on that too. I'm Clint with Bowles. Y'all have a great day.